Hello everybody and welcome back to Shiny Hunting for HISUI and GROWLITHE. So we got our first Shiny yesterday for the Shiny HISUI and GROWLITHE family. How are all of you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. And let's get to Shiny Hunting, hopefully for the rest of this, because I've bred up a bunch more eggs, and hoping we can run through the rest of these soon, get a fairly good night's sleep, so rested and fully energized. So, let's get egg hatching, and right on cue, first egg starting to hatch right there. This is going to be great. I have a good feeling about today, but I am also fairly certain RNG is gonna whiplash and slap me in the face, and we are just not gonna have anything good. But yeah. So yeah, I was actually talking with Timmy B, and we're kind of like, you know, going a bit back and forth about the EBL and everything like that. So I had to play Infinite Fusions, downloaded a sprite pack that makes... Oh, interesting. Interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping today we get our shiny HISUI and Arcanine. I'm hoping we get our second one, because we just need one more. We just need one more. I'm doing very well, SCP lady. I'm doing pretty solidly fairly well. But yeah, how is everybody doing tonight? Well, not tonight, today, because it is the middle of the day presently. And again, if you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But let's rock and roll. Oh, there's my water. It's literally right on my desk right now. She's like, where's my water? Oh, it's right there, I'm blind. But yeah, so we are finally back to this. And we got one. So we're doing good. We are doing okay with our hunt. And I decided to breed up a lot more eggs today. I'm hoping to run a bit longer with this shiny hunt today, because one thing I want to try and do is, the issue to balance is getting enough eggs to sort of run longer, because I'm realizing, well, we go through about 45 eggs in a single sandwich. So, you know, 45 eggs, one sandwich. And I generally breed up about maybe 5 boxes, so 5 boxes, 150 eggs. That's about an hour and a half, you know, a little over an hour and a half. So I want to try and like start breeding up even more eggs, which that's the only tricky part, is because it takes about, calculation-wise, you get about 50-something eggs from a single sandwich. Level 2 sandwich, if you efficiently get all the eggs, it ranges between, like, you know, almost 50 to almost 60, so there's a bit of a range there. But that's about 2 boxes for every half hour. So, you know, 2 boxes, about an hour and a half, 3 hours, you know, generally gets that many. Which is one of the reasons why I want to start moving over some Pokemon from this game into my Scarlet version, basically for storage, as I like to call it. So that way I can just spend en masse for like an entire day just breeding up a whole bunch of boxes of eggs. Hello there, Viking, how you doing? Doing a solo run? Trying to look at a lot. Fun. That sounds very fun, Omar. Hope you got good luck with that. But that looks like it was fun. Good thing that, like, no one has Goldengo. The only worry is possibly Poppy, because Poppy is all steel. Because I know for the steel battles, you can just use like frickin' Tech Flamethrower onto your Wigglytuff to blast right through Orthworm or Dr. Leg. Nice, shiny Necrozma in 15 DAs, very very nice. It's actually faster than ours. We got ours, I believe, in 23 Dynamax Adventures. Yeah, that was a good one. Necrozma was a good one. No, we didn't, James. The Dr. Legs, which is what we call Orthworm. That is a joke from a friend of mine. His wife referred to his Orthworm as Dr. Legs, And he told that to me, so now I refer to every Earthworm as Dr. Legs. Hello there, Mike F. How are you doing? I have no idea what I said. I'll be real. I do not know what I said. Or that Viking Warrior. Rosma Omar. Wigglytuff. Maybe I said Wigglytuff? Do you have jobs asking? Not yet. Not yet. I'm applying for jobs, Viking. Alright, one more egg, and then we can switch out to the next batch of eggs. After this, I have a feeling my hunt after this is going to be the Scyther family. Because I would love to get shiny Kleavor, shiny Scyther. I'm pretty sure I already have a shiny Scizor. But I also think I'm probably going to be breeding for a 0-speed shiny Scyther and Scizor for better purposes. There's going to be stuff in things. But also, guys, again, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. My goal for today is hatch these, and I'm thinking tonight with Tears of the Kingdom, because we always do 2 streams. We do, well, we won't always do 2 streams, but generally we do, unless I'm just completely wiped out for some reason or another. We do 2 streams, one for Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm thinking for tonight's Tears of the Kingdom stream, we're going to be continuing to do a bit of side quest, because now we have the Frogman suit. So now we have the Frog suit. So I want to try and get the rest of, I want to try and work on keep getting more of the armors. And then we're going to do some more exploring of the depths. I have not, because I know I don't have the face for doing that. I know for a certain I do not have the face to do that. Frog suit. I mean, it's called, like, the sticky suit. Basically, it just makes so you don't slip when you climb surfaces. It's like you can climb up walls when it's raining, and you won't slip off them, which I really like. It's a very helpful suit. Because one thing we've been mentioning throughout the past, like, you know, of course, 30 streams of Tears of the Kingdom, climbing when it is raining is a pain, because you just keep slipping down. But with the frog suit, its bonus is you don't slip when you're climbing on surfaces. Meaning it doesn't matter if it's raining anymore, we can just climb everything. So it's fun. I want to try and get the rest of the outfits so that way we can, you know, finish upgrading everything. Nice go, Looper. Other than that, I want to finish, like, exploring a lot of the depths, so then I can finish working on making the Depths Crawler 9000, which is basically going to be a Jeep that I will use to drive around the depths to explore everything from the safety of a giant Jeep. Just the Depths Crawler 9000 is going to be the greatest contraption I've ever built. I'm still working on building the tank, which, thankfully, I am actually making significant gains in progress on building the tank. It's actually a little easier than you'd think to actually build that tank. It's just getting the necessary wheels and the base pieces. It's just the only tricky part, because I have the robot heads now. I have the construct heads. That one shrine yesterday we did, where it was just, yeah, use the drone robots to attack everything, that was probably one of my favorite shrines we've had so far. Just because it is, use the robots to attack everything. Use robots to destroy them. There's just some days where that happens, where you're just bored. There's been a couple of days I've had that for me as well. And it's just, I think, it's just power through the day in whatever way you can. I choose not to think about that, Viking. That is the thing. I choose to not keep that thought in my brain. I am indeed the forehead, Kayla. I am indeed the forehead. Forehead moment. I'm not spoon-fed, Kayla. If I was spoon-fed, I'd already have this shiny. But after we get this, if we get the HISUI and Growlithe shiny today, I think what we're going to go do is actually hunt for some flying types via sandwich hunting. So I want to get a shiny Scyther. Well, I'm going to need multiple shiny Scyther. I'm going to want to try and get the Hoppip. I still need the Hoppip family of all things. And then basically just shiny hunting around there. But I have my sneaking suspicions that this thing is not going to want to sparkle today. Summer school, 2 of my friends are at summer school, parents are at workout siblings. So basically, you're basically home alone all day. You're like Scarlet, who's a Pokemon. I decided to move to Violet. Noise. You're moving over to Violet version. Fun. No, Oinkalone has the male and female form. They have different colorations. Shiny Oinkalone is like all pink. Yeah, Shiny Oinkalone is all pink. My Terra raid codes, when they're local, are only 4 digits. You may not be connected to the online. Shiny... Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I would have hunted it in Legends, except I wanted to get this in a Luxury Ball. And you can't get Luxury Balls back in Legends. Maybe. You also could have been seeing a Persian that you mistook for it. Yeah, you need to be connected. Yeah, if you're connected to the internet, it will be 6 digits. If you are not connected to the internet, it will only be 4 digits. But also, it is best to say, like, okay, what the raid boss is. Like, okay, this is the Pokemon, this is the star, this is the typing. When it comes to that. Yeah. We are jumping over the freaking Fletchinder. Because Fletchinder is annoying. Is that all the that's actually all of them. Okay. But yeah, so I'm thinking if we get this HISUI and Arcanine today, the last one, we're gonna go for flying types. Because I would like to get more progress on my living shiny decks, and not just because shiny reactions are good for shorts for the channel. Speaking of that, shorts have been acting a bit wonky lately. Just something I've noticed is that they've been... YouTube might be doing something with like its whole algorithm thing, but it's been behaving wonky for the past couple of days. Yeah, speaking of shorts, oh, pink maybe some stuff. Could have also been the Hoppip, because Hoppip is also pink. Not shiny Hoppip, just regular Hoppip is pink. Because shiny Hoppip is green. It's very lime green. Not pink, but lime. Not lemon, but lime. Come on, HISUI and Doggo, sparkle for me. Sparkle for me, dog. And also, guys, again, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like on the stream. But I got a plan for tonight's Tears of the Kingdom stream, and I'm thinking that plan is going to be. Did they fix Stars of Shiny? What do you mean? Did they fix Tauros' shiny? They don't change shinies. I'm not sure what you mean by that. No, I've never had an e-reader card. I've never played any of the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, Viking. I have never played any of those. That is not good, Blarb. You should go sleep. Pulling off all-nighters is very not healthy. Was in its home model? You're gonna have to probably DM me that on Discord what you mean by that, because I'm not sure I follow. Because they don't really change shinies. That's weird. That's still not good. You need some sleep, Blorb. Sleep is good. Sleep is... After having gotten not much sleep the last couple of days and finally getting a very good night's sleep is like, sleep is good. My headache is finally gone. I am fully alert, fully awake. Everything is good, and my brain is now working at back to normal capacity. The issue is the capture system for those. The Viking. The thing is, the capture systems for the Game Boy games requires a very specialized equipment, of which I don't have. Which kind of makes streaming them an impossibility because I don't like using emulators if I actually have, you know, the actual system itself, and I actually do have a Game Boy Advance. The other thing is, I'll be real, I actually don't care for games before the physical special split. I've played a few, like, randomizer Nuzlocke of, like, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and played XD Gala Darkness Coliseum games before the physical special split happened, and a few draft leagues where it's, like, set in Gen 3. I don't particularly care for the time before the physical special split happened. A lot of moves are, well, really just bad. You know, moves back in Gen 3 and Gen 1 and 2 are terrible. There's really no other way of saying it. And Pokemon either learn a lot of great moves, or they learn just absolutely nothing. Which really makes it kind of unfun to play. At least for me, because I generally enjoy playing Pokemon games where I don't need to use a base 30 power move or 40 power move into the end game. That's kind of just me. You know, I don't really enjoy those games too much because the moves are just kind of not good. Yeah, even then, XD Gala Darkness kind of struggles with that. That's one of the few things that XD Gala Darkness... Eventually, we are going to be doing, like, XD Gala Darkness and Coliseum. Those are sort of special cases where that's really because, like, the nature of those games is very different. And the way they actually handle XD Gala Darkness and Coliseum, you don't suffer from as many of those issues, but you do suffer from a few. Like, you don't have access to things like Surf or Waterfall for a lot of water types. They just don't really get good moves. But the ones that do, they do it very well. Like, Suicune in XD. I guess Suicune in Coliseum, it gets Surf. And, like, no other water types actually get really much like Surf. There's a few, I think Quagsire gets Surf. But yeah, that's a bit of a general Generation 3 condition, is just moves in Gen 3 and Gen 1 and 2 were not the best. And that kind of holds them back. The other thing is that Gen 1, 2, and 3 all have the badge boosts, so they're very, very easy games. For those wondering about that, we actually have an entire video series on basically the most difficult Pokemon games. And one of the reasons why the Generation 1, 2, and 3 games are actually on the very easy spectrum is the badge boosts. Basically, after getting certain gym badges, and when I say certain gym badges, I mean, like, the first few gym badges you get a, for Gen 1 and 2, it is a 12.5% bump to that stat, and Generation 3, it is a 10% bump to a stat. So you beat Brock, you get the Boulder badge, you now have a 12.5% boost to your physical attack. You beat, like, Misty, you get a 12.5% boost to your physical defense. I believe it is Koga. When you beat him, you get a 12.5% boost to your special attack and special defense. And it basically does that. Oh, I have both of the games. I own both XD and Coliseum Viking. I own both of those games. Yeah, I've had those games for many, many years, and one of the reasons why I have not sold them is because I plan on playing them for a future thing. I have future ideas involving XD and Coliseum. One of the reasons for that is I want to try to get a Pokemon with every single medal on it, or every single ribbon on it, that you can get without using exclusive Wi-Fi events. And in order to get that, you actually need XD or Coliseum. because there is a ribbon that you get for purifying a Pokemon. Which means there's a very few number of Pokemon that can actually get them. Now, the only issue is, you can't Pokeball style them really well. That's a little problem, so I would love to get like a Togepi that has every ribbon on it in a Luxury Ball or Love Ball, but you can't, for the reasons. But yeah, I've got plans for that. I've had plans involving XD, Gala Darkness, and Coliseum since... not really before the channel really began, but since the channel was about a year old. Yes, shinies do exist in XD and in Coliseum, but the way that they handle them is very, very different. And if I recall correctly, you simply cannot find shiny shadow Pokemon in XD Gala Darkness. That could be wrong, because I have heard some people say that there has been a lot of incorrect information about shinies in XD Gale of Darkness that have been floating around the internet for a couple of years. So, I'm not sure what the exact is, but yeah, they're very difficult and very rare to get. But I do know you can get shinies of the Pokemon at the Pokestops. Pokespots, not stops. Pokestops are things that Pokemon Go. Where those I do know you can get shinies of those. But this was back when shiny odds were 1 in 8,000. So that's gonna take some time. That is not exactly an easy hunt to do. But we are gonna be, speaking of actually 1 in 8,000 shiny hunts, I am making progress on planning for the Soul Silver Shiny Lugia hunt. Because yes, that's still on. Nope, you didn't miss the shiny again, Midnight. The shiny has not been sparkled yet. We are still hunting for that. We're still hunting for the shiny dog. But how you doing, Midnight? How are you doing, Midnight? Hope you're doing good. I know I'm doing well. I know I'm doing delightfully well. Is Dorg. It is Dorg. I just want my Sparkler Dorg. Need one more golden retriever. Exactly. But then I also got a shiny hunt, regular Growlithe. Let's own that one. Oh, nice. Happy birthday, Alpha. Happy birthday, Alpha. Everyone wish Alpha a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Alpha. And also, guys, again, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And if you guys haven't done so, share this out to your friends. I've actually got... So, I remember the Enamorous Zero Speed IV hunt that I was going to be doing? I've got a plan for that. And I'm thinking of doing something sort of special with that Enamorous hunt. And it is... because I suck at coming up with teams for playthroughs of Pokemon games because I am incredibly indecisive. I had an idea. And that idea would be if viewers and other people would submit teams, like, okay, this is a team of, you know, Pokemon you have to play through Legends with, you know, obviously they have to be catchable within Legends within reason. And the file that I finally get the 0 or 1 speed with, I will shiny hunt that entire team that was used to get it, and then give that team to the person who submitted that team suggestion. We have done randomized Nuzlocke before, Alpha. We have previous series of randomized Nuzlocke. Yeah, these are ones for Legends. You need... Yeah, they need to be ones that you can get within Legends. That's the thing for it. I'm going to be working on, like, finalizing an entire post thing for it. But, yeah, that's kind of a general idea I have for it. Where I would be hunting them, and then whoever submitted that, they would receive, you know, when it is finished, I would shiny hunt those Pokemon, and then give them to that person. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I had to plan for it. Because pretty much when it comes to the Enamorous, I have, per save file, a 1 in 10 shot of getting it. I think, yeah, because it's 0 speed or 1 speed I need, and there is 0 to 19 IVs of the possible speed IVs I can determine from the game. So it's about, you know, 1 in 10 shot per save file. So that's what it is. Again, it's one of those things where I'm still working out the ideas for it. But yeah, basically, the general gist is submitting ideas for the team and using those teams to play through Legends. And then when I get the 0 speed one, I would shiny hunt the team and then give that, you know, shiny hunted team to the person who submitted the team. So, like, say someone was, okay, do, you know, these 6 Pokemon, I would shiny hunt those, then give them to that person. I would need to, like, of course, you know, later on, like, a couple of, like, okay, it can't be, you know, full team of EV Pokemon, full team of all 3 starters, and, you know, Legend, like, that's, you know, that's not, like, a team within reason. But it's one that I'm still planning a little bit on, and I still need to, like, put the pen to paper to figure out everything for. Because I don't really accept shinies, I don't hunt myself. Yep. Yeah, I'm the same way. I do not accept shiny trades from people. I'll accept, like, shinies from, like, giveaways, as in, like, the GameStop code giveaways, because those are shinies that are shiny locked in-game and are the only way to get those, and often those are the legendaries of the other version, so I can get another of them. You know, it's like, I didn't have my Zacian in my Shield version, and I didn't have my Zamazenta in my Sword version. So, getting the shiny of them is the way of getting a legendary of that species without needing to go through the nonsense of, you know, trading and sending stuff over, which, that's beneficial. You know, that's not, you know, oh, I will trade stuff and then give me shiny fours. Like, it feels weird. Because the legendary giveaway shinies that they do are done with a different fundamental purpose. You know, it's the only way of getting those shinies is through those GameStop giveaways. Yeah, same, and that's the other reason. I don't accept stuff because of, like, hacks. Oh, I need to get more butter. I need to go grab butter. It's a plan that I have the vague idea for, that I'm kind of sort of trying to put together some of the thought lines with, and, you know, we'll deal with that, you know, when the time comes, because I'm thinking it's going to be a gradual process I work on with that Legends Enamorous hunt, because I still don't know if they will release Enamorous in the DLC of this game, where if they do release Enamorous in this game, and I can 0 speed IV hunt the Enamorous in here, that's going to make my life far, far easier. That is going to make my life much easier. Yeah, it's an idea I had. It does depend on if you can get Enamorous in the DLC, so there is that. Spent an hour doing Nightbot stuff. Nice. Very, 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 very nice. Yeah, Nightbot at times is very smooth-brained. But yeah, I have that vague idea because I do struggle with coming up with teams. I'm not very good with team construction when it comes to playthroughs of games because I have a lot of Pokemon I want to use per every game. Like, this is one thing that I remember saying back in the Black and White series and then Black 2 and White 2 as well. There were so many Pokemon that I wanted to use for my playthrough in Black and White, Black 2 and White 2. There's so many of them. I could not use all of them. Because there's that many. Keep in mind, I have done a playthrough of Black and White, so that's in total 12 Pokemon there. I'm going to play the black 2 and white 2, where that is 18 then in total. I have another playthrough planned for black and white 2 hard mode, where I have 6 others, and I'm not going to be using a starter in that file. So again, 24 Pokemon in total. And there are still Pokemon I wanted to use that I was not able to in those plannings. That is how many things in Unova I really, really wanted to use and just couldn't. Hello there, Ember. How are you doing? You know, couldn't use them for various reasons. Either inability to access a Pokemon at a reasonable time frame, or, you know, this Pokemon conflicts with the typing of another member of the team, which I don't like having overlapping typings on a team. It's kind of a little tick. But there's just so many I want to use. There's just so many Pokemon. Because the way that I handle building teams for playthroughs is I will go through the entire Pokedex and basically write down this Pokemon I want to use, 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 and like basically make a bullet list of like all these Pokemon I want to use. And if I'm playing through multiple files, I will try to mix and match, like, okay, I'm using a fire type on this team, I'm not using one on this team, so I can have this here and this there, and basically figure out what, you know, the best compositions would be. But it is tricky when it's like, yeah, there's like 4 steel types I want to use, and I can't use all of them because too much typing overlap. I'm gonna order stuff to decorate water bottles. Is fun, very fun, Ember, very nice. Yeah, like, but that's the issue. There's so many Pokemon I want to use per a lot of the games, and I have a very hard time deciding which ones do I want to use. You know, it's that narrowing down into the individual list. The best example of this was actually Let's Go, where, yeah, my Let's Go team, I had a few, you know, typing overlaps. I have, you know, of course, the Aerodactyl and the Dragonite, but that is also a bit of a byproduct of I like to use all the pseudo-legendaries. I want to use the pseudo-legendaries, if possible, in at least one playthrough, for, of course, the Let's Play series. But also, I actually really, really, really like Aerodactyl as a Pokemon, and wanted to use it because I do not believe there is any other game I will be able to use an Aerodactyl in. There we go. I need some butter. So it was kind of a thing of, if I want to use Aerodactyl, I need to use Aerodactyl here, and I want to use Dragonite because pseudo legendary reasons, so I have to do that there. I don't like Megas. I honestly prefer regular Aerodactyl over the Mega. I don't like all the spikes that are just come shooting out of Mega Aerodactyl's body. It doesn't look right to me. It looks a bit too weird, with just like the rock just shooting out of every place. Not being spoon-fed. Exactly. Like, again, remember, I am not spoon-fed, Kayla. We all know I'm not spoon-fed. If I was spoon-fed, I'd have the whole thing done by now. We know I'm not spoon-fed. Yeah, auto-wrong. Auto-wrong is a thing. There's a reason we don't like auto-wrong. There's a reason we don't like auto-wrong. It's going pretty well. I got plans. It changed word to worm. That isn't even the first time in the last 24 hours that's happened. So, goals. That happened yesterday in Tears of the Kingdom with Midnight. Yeah, not even the first time that's happened today. Well, in the last 24 hours. One more, then we make our egg sandwich. Okay, that's a deerling. I was like, what is that? It's a sleeping deerling. Sleepy deerling. But yeah, auto-wrong is smooth brain. Auto-wrong is intensely smooth brain. It's gonna be great when summer finally kicks off again, and summer happens, because summer's good. Because that way, gym in the middle of the day, people are gonna be here, it's gonna be poppin', it's gonna be delightful. But yeah, we get through about, 40 eggs in a single sandwich, because I actually made that sandwich before stream started. And had a little bit of time wasted on it, because I was collecting a couple of eggs. So, yeah, about 45 to 50 eggs per sandwich. If I want about a 3-hour stream, I would need 50 eggs. So, yeah, 16. I need about six intervals of that. So, yeah, we got 300 eggs. So, it's about 100 eggs an hour, if not a little less. So, yeah, about 300 eggs, which is 10 boxes. 2 hours would be... how many boxes? 2 hours, yeah, because 2 hours would be 200, a little over 6 eggs, so about 7. Well, seven boxes out. Okay. Oh, arm is now numb. Is it feeling asleep? Oh, you did. Oh, you hit your funny button then. How are you breeding soon? You just have to have the HISUI and Arcanine or HISUI and Growlithe hold an Everstone, and then you can breed it with a Ditto or an Arcanine. The way you pass down regional variant status is just have the regional variant holding an Everstone. And then it passes that down. I can also trade you HISUI and Growlithe if you need one. Yeah, that's the way that all regional variant breeding works, which I am glad that they have something like that to pass down, variant status like that, because I want to get my shinies in luxury balls. I prefer my shinies in luxury balls. Some I will prefer in a different Pokeball. But in general, I want them in luxury balls. In general. If possible. Because I think if you breed one in, the strange ball or the mystery ball, I forget the actual... I forget the English name of it, but I know, one is the Japanese name, one is the English name. It will, default into just giving it a Pokeball. Okay, thank you. Just transferring them over. Yeah. Yeah, it's just you have them hold you have the HISUI parent hold an Everstone. Same applies for Alolan forms, where you have, an Alolan Raichu, you have that hold an Everstone, breed that, then when you evolve it, it should be an Alolan Raichu. Hello there, Melon. How are you doing? And the same works when breeding the non-regional variant in a region where it is the default regional variant. So, say... Yeah, there's no, HISUI and... There's no Paldean split final form. So, if you get a HISUI and Goodra, I believe the HISUI and Goodra holds the Everstone. You breed that, evolve it up, that would evolve into a HISUI and Goodra in the end. Whereas if you just bred the HISUI and Goodra no Everstone, it would evolve into a regular Goodra. It's fascinating that way. It is fascinating how the mechanics work for that. I honestly think the main reason why they added in the mints is because the way you pass down natures, and the way you pass down regional variant status is actually the same held item. It is the Everstone. Meaning, if it weren't for the nature-changing mints, it would be pretty much impossible to breed down a regional variant and have it have a different nature than the parent if the parent doesn't have a desirable nature for the next one to have. Because generally the reason you are breeding a Pokemon is because you want something different about the one you are looking for that the one you presently have does not fulfill. Be it Egg Move, be it Zero Speed IV, be it Nature, be it originally hidden abilities, and having, it forced to be same nature doesn't really mesh with that. Unless of course, the nature is the desirable one, and you want something like a Zero Speed IV, or you want an Egg Move. But if it's a male HISUI parent, female is one that passes down the species, unless it is breeding with a Ditto. So, pretty much, I think the reason they added in the nature mints is both, well, ease of access for new competitive players, but also they realized we have the same item, pass down regional variants, and pass down nature. It's gonna cause problems. Hello there, Omar. How are you doing? How is Omar doing? I just want my golden doge. I just want my golden doji. I want it. Good question. So, you have a 0 speed. You also have a nature that decreases speed. Is it the same as you get a low enough? I have a question. If you have a 0, say, on speed, and also have a nature that decreases speed, is that the same you get if you get a number low enough for the nature to put it at 0? No. There is a few cases where that does happen, but that is dependent on base speed. Also level, because like Enamorous, let me actually just do a quick calculation. Because there are a few cases where that is happening, like Enamorous, Therian. Because Enamorous, Therian at level 50, if it has a 0 speed IV, and I believe it has a 1 speed IV, they will have the exact same speed stat. Yeah, they'll have the exact same speed stat. But for, say, something else, like let's go for Garchomp, because Enamorous Therian has a base speed of 46. But you go to Garchomp, where Garchomp's base speed is 102. So yeah, slight derailing of the shiny hunts for like a little bit of competitive talk time. Welcome to my TED Talk. This is Max's with talking about competitive stuff. But you got like say something like Garchomp, where you have a minus speed nature, and then you've got that. It doesn't work out the same way. You know, 0 speed IV Garchomp and a 1... Actually, no, Garchomp, it actually does work out the same way. Actually, is it that level? Interesting. Let me try, like, just increasing some speed stats just for shenanigans. Actually, it seems that it will always work out. To have, if you have a 1, it'll be the same way, but if you have 2, it'll be different. So... 1 or 0 is the desirable one. The reason why generally people want the 0 is it is easier to detect instantly from a level 1. Because I believe any IV between 1 and I think it's 15... will say it is decent, but if you have a 0, it'll say no good. So it's more easily identifiable just to have the 0, which is why people prefer it. But that's also for level 50. If it is level 100, there is a difference. So but all competitive stuff is played at level 50, official competitive stuff. Smogon is level 100. Whereas your VGC, which is the official format, is made for level 50s. So it doesn't realistically matter whether it is a 0 or a 1. Yes, there we go. But it's just generally a little bit easier. That's what's one of the reasons why. But IVs are fascinating when it comes to Pokemon. It is legitimately fascinating how much information there actually is on them. But there is also not much that is actually clear, because this is one thing that the Pokemon devs have intentionally... This is one of the reasons why EVs and IVs for a long time were not overtly outright stated. It's because they didn't want players to focus too heavily on like outright stating the numbers. Because every Pokemon was supposed to be individual, every Pokemon was supposed to be unique, and stating the outright numbers would have kind of taken away from that, they felt. Which, that's kind of funny when you really think about it in the way of, yeah, but there's also a competitive scene that is official, and there's a very specific reason why people go for these things, and it's just making it harder for people to actually find it out. So people will gen and start cheating, which is likely the reason they started adding in things like bottle caps and official ways of like resetting and determining IVs. because they realized, well, people are just going to be cheating anyways. We might as well, people are going to find out about it, we might as well just make it easier for them to figure out officially rather than resorting to cheating. Because that is just not what they're about. Which is kind of funny. Shiny luck in Legend is meh. I mean, yeah. I don't play in Legends. Also, when you play Legends, it's when your shyness is rolled when you return to Jubilife Village. So, if you're in Jubilife and you go out and you reset, like you turn the game off and turn it back on, you go back out, the same thing will happen. You have to keep going back to Jubilife Village to reset everything. Which is something about that game. Human services are meant to be slightly easier. Yeah. Not even close, Blorb. That is not accurate. That is piracy is just outright illegal. That is not anywhere near comparable. That is not a very comparable thing at all. But yeah, that's the reason why that they've been kind of adding in a lot of these more player convenience things, is that they realize people were using genning and hacking software to get optimal things, and the only way to kind of stop that is just make it so you can actually determine and figure them out in-game far, far easier. Which is kind of funny when it's like, yeah, we included these things to make everything different, but we don't outright state it, so everyone will have something a little bit different, but yet it's competitive advantageous to cheat. I don't get why. Yeah, well, the thing is, the people who gen, the number is actually still shrinking. So, as time goes on, genning has decreased, and this is one of the reasons I'm actually a big fan of the way Home... This is why, like, despite the overcomplicated way Home actually renders and actually, like, does things, I'm actually kind of happy, is that it removes legacy moves. They are basically going to make it impossible for legacy moves to be a thing going forward. Because if this Pokemon doesn't learn this move in the present generation, Home will just remove that move from its moveset and substitute in another move that it learns. So, like, you're bringing up a legacy, you know, curse, like Zap Cannon Espeon from Gen 2. Well, you don't get Zap Cannon anymore. That is not compatible with the newer games. That move is being removed because moveset compatibility changes. And legacy moves are the biggest reason to actually gen. It's just when it comes to, like, IVs and EVs, like, hidden power and legacy moves were the two biggest reasons to gen, outside of, like, people shiny, like, just shiny genning Pokemon they want as shinies, which that's a whole other separate matter altogether, where with the removal of legacy moves and the removal of especially hidden power, it removes a very significant amount of the pressure to gen, and now I say pressure in, like, the biggest glowing air quotes, because there is never a reason to cheat. So, by basically removing that, it essentially means that you're not able to just... There's no real reason to be genning. Like, when you say remove, do you mean, like, even if it's genned, no code? Yes! More or less, that's what it seems to be. Where, even if, like, a Lugia is genned to have this, the only way you could have it is if you are cheating, and that is a very glaring, obviously, tell. So, say Lugia with Toxic, which nothing learns Toxic other than, like, a few poison types these days, because it's not TM anymore. A Lugia with Toxic would have that move Toxic removed from its moveset when it is imported into, say, Scarlet Violet. Meaning, you cannot get a Toxic Lugia. This is what it seems, by the way. So we don't know this is exactly how it does work, but this is the way that it seems to be working. It will remove that move from its moveset. So the only way you can get it in is if you are, like, cheating inside of Scarlet Violet, which is a massive tell. Which, I like that. Yeah, it would, like, again, at that point, the only real genning pressure, again, genning in massive air quotes, would just come from, I just want to get a shiny of this thing, or, like, 0-speed Trick Room Indeedee, where, even then out with home, you can probably bring up your 0-speed Trick Room Indeedee back from Generation 8, so there's that, where, it removes a lot of this pressure, and I love that. It's like, anything that cuts down on genning, I am for. It's one of the reasons why I'm very happy that, like, Hidden Power is gone. It's why I'm very happy that, like, a number of, like, the legacies they are gone, is that there's people who will still cheat in gen for reasons, but essentially now, it kind of makes genning come down to almost, like, very petty reasons of just being too lazy, which is kind of what it is now. Which is one thing that I find it funny. Trading and Monaco Legends of... I wouldn't exactly do that, LeChonk. There's gonna be giveaways of the legendaries from Paldea anyway. So it might be better just to wait for them to come, because they're gonna be coming eventually. Or is it like you just don't want to go through the stakes process, like just getting all the stakes? Because if it's the stakes, there's just like easy video guides you can go do for that. Yeah, the stakes is honestly not that hard to do if you just look up a guide for where the stakes are. It's a little annoying and tedious, but it is better to just go and like just get them. It's not. It's time consuming is really all it is. Where it's just annoying to go out and find them. But if you use, say, like, Cerebi.net's map, where it's like, yeah, this is exactly where the location of the stake is, it cuts it down to being extremely easy, because we spent, I think it was 3 streams tracking them down, but that was 3 streams of, like, 4 hours apiece, and I did not use a guide until the last stream to find them. Where, when I did use the guide, it was like, okay, this is all done inside of, like, half an hour. It's very, very quick if you use a guide. Yeah, it's really all it is. It's just it's mostly a thing of just annoying time-consuming, rather than, like, actually being difficult, which is kind of an interesting sort of, which is an interesting thing. That I've actually been talking with a couple of Nuzlockers, and, you know, basically explaining to them, like, this is why level boosters don't really make games harder, is it just makes grind time increase. Because, as gamers, we've been kind of trained to think amount of time it takes to beat a game, or amount of grind time needed equates with difficulty. Rather than, fundamentally, if you're going to be doing a level booster, well, you're just going to grind up the level they're at anyway, so it doesn't really change the difficulty at all. Yeah, it's an interesting, like, almost like fascinating, I want to say paradox, but it's sort of an interesting thing about us as gamers where we will equate how long it takes something to beat a game with that being legitimately difficult, even when that isn't the case. It's one of the reasons why we tend to think that games we played when we were younger were far more difficult than the ones that we play today, because back then we didn't know what we were doing. It took us longer to beat them, because we just were flailing around in the dark like a toddler with a stick. Now, because we actually know what we're doing, we don't want to struggle. Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. It's one of the reasons we did the entire Pokemon difficulty analysis series, where it was all about, like, are these games actually more difficult than, you know, they really are? Or do we think that they're more difficult because we just didn't know what we were doing back then? And more often than not, it was, yeah, no, these games were actually far easier than we actually thought. It's just we didn't know what we were doing. Might have better luck on chat. Yeah. there are entire Discords that are actually designed for trading and stuff like that, which would be better to go. There's also entire subreddits for the same thing. Yeah, I would recommend beating Violet. I would recommend going and beating the game. I actually don't even think you need to beat the game to get the Snake Legendaries, now that I'm thinking about it. I have heard some people say that you can get them without beating the game, which is fascinating. Yeah, I don't think you actually need to beat the game. But yeah, it's, yeah, the grind is the annoying part, but yeah, it is one of the annoying things. But thankfully with home access kind of existing, version exclusive, you can just put version exclusive in Pokemon Home and just use that to get them. Yeah, that's the thing is, Lechonk. A lot of people in streams are kind of there to, you know, watch the stream. You know, not everyone there is actually also actively playing the game. That's kind of another thing. How many more? Okay, 3 more. So yeah. Okay, 3 more. How much longer is this sandwich going? Yeah, I think you need to do it from the mobile. Yeah, you need to do, because you don't need online for that. And you just put it in the GTS. That's actually how I got the remaining legendaries in my... shield version to get the other charms to, like, finish out certain things, was I just got them on the GTS there. Including, like, including the most obviously genned Glastrier in existence. Perfect IVs all around, so 6 perfect IVs with a speed boosting nature. No one would ever do that. No one would ever go for a speed. You don't want Glastrier to be fast. You want Glastrier to be slow as hell. Like, that's the most obviously genned Glastrier in existence. It could not be any more obvious unless you had the thing's nickname be, this was Gen. Which I just find hilarious. Like, the subtlety is not something Genners are good at, which is one of the reasons I kind of chuckle all the time. So I'm looking at UTK stickers, and there are yeah, there's no Gleeoks. I'm not surprised that there's no Gleeoks. Because, like, they're just a mini-boss enemy. They're kind of a joke here, but they're just mini-bosses. I wouldn't be surprised there's no Lionels, because they're just mini-boss enemies. Because generally when it comes to, like, stickers and merchandise, you got the big-name characters. So you got, you know, Ganon, you got Zelda, you got the Master Sword, you got the Hylian Shield, you got, like, you know, the bows, probably. You got, you know, the other major characters. But you're probably not gonna get, like, bosses. Maybe like Bokoblins and some stuff like that you'll find. But probably not, like, the mini-bosses and stuff. Or maybe there's not that yet. Maybe there could be one. I should make a sticker for the Gleeoks. Okay, neat. We enjoy the Gleeoks, because we enjoy smiting the Gleeoks. We hunt them down and rip off their horns, and then sell them. They have all the rest. Little Bokoblins and bats. Well, to be fair, Bokoblins and Keese are very iconic enemies. Bokoblins and Keese, I believe, have been in almost every single, if not every single every single Zelda game. So, they are icons of the series. I believe Gleeoks have only been in a few games. When I say a few, I mean, like, maybe 3 games, including, like, the first game and this one. There are very, very few games Gleeoks have been in. Oh, the Yiga Clan. To be fair, the Yiga Clan, I can understand that, because they've been in a couple of the other stuff, like, they've been in Hyrule Wars, Age of Calamity. So, that kind of makes sense. They're kind of, like, major factions, whereas, you know, the Gleeoks are just mini-bosses. They're there's like disposable big enemies. The Yiga Clan is exactly. I still think that and Master Koga getting blasted by the rocket. I still think that is a Team Rocket reference. I have to think this. the boss for the Zora quest line. Muktarak. Least favorite boss in the entire game. Muktarak just freaking sucks. That boss sucks. Like, the Queen Gibdo fight, I did not like that when I first played it, but I was like, yeah, it's actually kind of a clever fight when I actually realized, like, how to do it correctly. That's pretty cool. Colgera. Awesome fight. Probably my favorite boss fight in that game. Marbled Goma. I really like that there's a number of ways you can actually fight Marbled Goma. When it goes on to its, like, its ceiling phase, you can either just snipe it with arrows, or when it's on its ground phase, you can just use Ascension to go straight up and not need to deal with it. Like, there's so many ways you can fight Marbled Goma that there's unintended, like, well, intended ways of fighting it. There's the intended way of fighting it, which is, of course, you know, blast it with Ghost Genobo, or you can find other ways, like, you know, Keese Eyeball Arrows, or, you know, just aiming for the eye and using Ascension. And that's clever. But then there's just Muktarak, which sucks, because you're literally walking through slowdown sludge. Master Koga. Yeah, that's the way that you're intended to fight Marbled Goma, is break off the legs with Genobo. But one thing I found was if you run underneath it and you use Ascension, you can just burrow straight through its body, pop out on top of the eyeball, and then just attack it while all 4 legs are up, which is really cool. And then on phase 2, when it's, you know, walking around on the ceiling all spider mode-like, you can actually just shoot its eyeball with arrows, because it's literally hanging down. You can just snipe it from the bottom, which is really, really cool. There's so many ways of fighting it. No, it's, you break the legs off, so that way it falls to the ground, so you can climb on it. I think when I woke up, I left my brain behind. Rip. You know, the legs don't make it invincible. And I love that. Like, again, there's so many ways of fighting things. There are so many ways of fighting things in this game. It's a lot like one of my other favorite games, Metroid Samus Returns, where in that game, you're fighting, I believe it is 50 Metroids. And you're fighting, and there's like, what, like, I think 5 or 6 stages of the Metroid life, so like what you actually fight. So you fight, like, the Alpha Metroid. You fight, like, 30 of those. You fight, like, 30 Alpha Metroid. Well, not maybe not 30. Maybe, like, 20 Alpha Metroid. 10 or, like, 15 Beta Metroid. Then, you know, like, 10 Gamma Metroids. I'm probably not adding up. But you're fighting, like, a lot of Alphas, a good number of Betas and Gammas. A few Zetas, and I think you're fighting, like, 4 Omega Metroids. And then you fight the Queen. But there's like 5 or 6 different ways to fight the Metroids. So there's so many ways you can fight. And it makes all, when you just, oh, you can do that. It makes all those other fights, you know, you can do different things, you can experiment. And it really makes like all those fights just feel more clever. Which I love. Because it gives the game a lot of replayability to, oh, you learn stuff in later maps, like, oh, I can do that. That's pretty cool. Like, you can use regular bomb, you can use regular missiles, you can use super missiles, you can use the burst beam, you can use the freeze laser. Because as you actually go throughout the game, the freeze laser does less and less damage to each of the subsequent Metroid phases. It still does a little bit of damage, but it just does less and less and less and less and less and less and less. And even then, there is still one thing about Metroid Samus Returns that I've still not figured out why the hell it worked. It was, I think it was the Gamma Metroid, when it was doing its little fly around phase, so like it flies around and it basically just drops little energy blobs. And I shot a charged freeze blast that went through 3 of its little energy drop things, and it just one-shot it. Having done, like, no damage to the Metroid at all the entire fight yet. It just took it out. And I have seen nothing about how or why this worked. And it was like, did I just, like, discover some, like, secret secret way of dealing with Metroids. It's like, those moments, like, that's why I love that game. I hate it. Oh, trust me, there's more. Trust me. You're gonna hate the Soldier Construct level 4s even more. Hey, Navy, how you doing? One of the mods, go grab Nafy's link. How you doing, Navy? Yeah, there's just, like, so much you can do in Metroid Samus Returns. I love it. It's a clever game. I'm doing very well. We got our first shiny HISUI and GROWLITHE yesterday, hoping we get our second one today. We've been over odds. I believe Annie has killed me. I think it takes like a second to start up. Unless it was like a shock arrow. Which I believe the electricity just conducts that and like it just doesn't protect you. Maybe it does. Actually does I wonder if Sidon's water thing actually protects you from electricity. I will need to experiment with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't protect you because, like, water conducts electricity in that game, even though technically fresh water shouldn't conduct electricity because there's no dissolved electrolytes. Yeah, water is actually a very good insulator of electricity, if you didn't know. It's that there are, like, dissolved bits of salt in water that make it able to conduct electricity. Science is fascinating. Science is legitimately fascinating. I'm now taking a few days break from shiny hunting after the awful safari weekend. Well, Nafy, that's because you don't use your shiny charm. You don't shiny charm hunt. That's why your safari week was not good. Yeah, I didn't do safari week this year for 2 reasons. I kind of forgot it existed. And also, I was obsessed with Tears of the Kingdom at the time. It was a beamer. That might work. That might bypass it, because... Yeah, that might bypass it. I believe that is electricity. That could go through it, unless it's like the thing shatters, and then it's like, okay, well, right after you got damaged by it. So that'll need to test, actually. That's interesting. Because I know his thing protects you against an individual hit, but I don't know if it protects you with like a continuous attack. Like a laser blast. Safari Zone doesn't have shiny charm. Anything with Safari Zone doesn't have a shiny charm. No. Oras has the Safari Zone. Oras has the Safari Zone. Technically, you could say Friend Safari as well counts because of X and Y, but Safari Zone... Unless the Safari Zone in Oras was the Friend Safari, which would be weird. But also could make sense. There's an island I don't see how I get on. Oh, what? Oh, the really tall island? Blorb, can you send me a screenshot of what island you mean? Because if so, I think I know what one you're talking about. For that, there's 2 islands where you need to use a water arrow shot to demuck a waterfall, then you swim up that. And then there's another part where you need to use recall on a water ball, where you jump in the ball of water after having recalled it, and then it carries you up, and then you swim out after the water ball carries you up a certain distance. You could be at that point. We have Orath. I need to get shiny on Trico. Need to beat the game. Wow. How many encounters are you on for that Trico? How many encounters are you on for that Trico? Kind of curious on that. Or have you not been keeping count of it? Or have you just not been keeping track of it? Okay. It is our next sandwich time. Now it's sandwich time. So I think we've gotten through, what, like 3.5... So we are... So what box? So what box are we on? So box... Okay, wow. Okay, so we've gone through 3.5 boxes already. Okay, that... Yeah, we go through a little over... I think it's like a little under a box and a half. You know, we go through over a box and a half every sandwich. Okay. The one west of the big thing. West. Yeah, I think that might be the one. I think the one west of the big thing. West of the big thing. So you're on. So are you on the island with like all the archers and the soldier construct? Oh, I think I know what one you're on. That one, if you go to where the archer soldier construct was at like the furthest end from where you went on that island, there's a tilted water generator that is mucked over. You need to shoot that or hit it with a splash fruit. That'll demuck it, and then there'll be a water ball that comes up. You're on the place where the float ball is inside the big pool of water, right? If it's that one, you need to demuck that water generator, and then you can get it over there. I haven't done the hunt in over a year. You procrastinated. Yikes. Kind of sound like me with my shiny Poipo hunt. Which we're getting back to the Poipo shiny hunt. We are getting back to that hunt. And also Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Skies. I want to get back to that game. I love that game. So if you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Because we're going to be doing some Mystery Dungeon Explorers thing. We're going to be doing some shiny Poipo hunting. We're finally going to be working on our shiny Lugia hunt and our full playthrough of we're going to be doing a playthrough of Soul Silver, then we're going to shiny hunt Lugia in Soul Silver when we get there. Hello there, Azrael X Viv Ship. Welcome, Anne. What a Safari Zone is a Safari Zone since you don't have normal encounters anywhere. Safari Zone counts to get 30 Safari Balls. Isn't a Safari Zone since... So how does is the Oran Safari Zone just a friend safari then? Or is the friend safari exclusively an XY thing? Because I'll be real, I've never done anything with X and Y that involved like online adjacent connectivity things because I played X and Y and Oras after the release of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And when I say after Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I mean like a year after Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was out when no one was playing those games anymore. So I have no clue about any of those, like, things, or the player search system. I've done nothing with it. Nah, not even a friend safari, just another route. I mean, that still technically is the Safari Zone. That just means it's not what we typically consider the Safari Zone. Because let's be real. The friend safari, the Safari Zone as a concept is very, very antiquated. This is right, Viv short version. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome in, Viv. But let's be real, though, Nafi. The Safari Zone as an idea is a very antiquated concept. The whole reason it existed back in Gen 1 was to artificially limit players' ability to find rare Pokemon so that it would encourage them to trade and interact with other people. It's for largely the same reason why trade evolutions were invented. It's a way of forcing people to work together. And it has not aged at all in a good way. So it's a very antiquated idea, and it's one of those ideas that if it wasn't introduced back in Gen 1 and they introduced at a later date, we would all think this idea sucks. This is such a stupid concept. Why would they do this? Because it goes back to, you know, it was established early on, so we think of it as good, without reading the underlying reasoning. It's kind of the only thing. Yeah, that's I mean, you also got to remember this was back in the 90s when things like that weren't really well understood. Infinite Midnight, so they just didn't realize that was a thing. They love Safari Zones. That's why they do the event every year. But I think you're kind of missing what I'm saying, Nafi. That the reason why people like the Safari Zone is because it is a harder level of hunting. And it's a tradition almost at this point, whereas the Safari Zone as a concept really only exists as an antiquated idea. And it's that if that idea of the Safari Zone was not introduced back in Gen 1, and was then introduced at a later date, no one would really like the idea. It's only because we are used to the idea of the Safari Zone existing that we really have a more positive disposition towards it. Whereas if you took it the other way around and, like, it just didn't exist and then it introduced later, we would not be nearly as receptive to it. Because let's be real. It's a thing that you can't battle stuff. It is complete RNG. It is entirely RNG. It is entirely step-based counters. And there's a lot of very rare Pokemon in the Safari Zones that you can only get via the Safari Zones. As a concept, it is a horrible idea. But, because we've gotten very used to the idea of the Safari Zone existing, and we've just accepted it as a norm of the series, we are more receptive to it. And over time, that became absorbed into the shiny hunting sphere as it is a harder level of shiny hunting, in sort of like the same way of, you know, no Shiny Charm, no Masuda, that it is a riskier hunt, and there is that appeal of the risk. It's kind of for the exact opposite reason that, like, Legends shiny hunting wasn't really as enjoyed, because it was much safer, much easier. The game literally has a giant alert system to tell you shiny, 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 shiny. It's obvious because of RNG, but shiny hunting really pushed it out as a good job. Yeah, that's exactly why. It's entirely because of that challenge. And you also might be construing the silent majority in there, where most people don't like the Safari Zone. But it's the people who don't like it that are the vast majority. They don't really feel the same compulsion to go out and kind of say we don't really care for it. It's that the people who enjoy the Safari Zones are the ones that are often frequently making content because they enjoy that challenge. So it gives a bit of a false representation of that within the community at large. You know, within the Safari Week Shiny Hunt community, the Safari Zone is well loved. But that is also a very, 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 very small fraction of the community. Hello there, Ultima Ice Forest. How are you doing? And again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I don't have the game to do as far as I mean. Yeah, I mean, remember, I'm a practical. I'm pure practicality. And from a practical gameplay standpoint, the Safari Zone was a terrible idea. It exists entirely to force people to work together, which, that's actually the reason why the devs have stated, like, a version exclusive existed. That's the reason why they stated, like, trading existed. Because they wanted to sort of encourage, i.e. force, players to work together to accomplish the common goal. Which is inherently not a bad idea. It's just the issues are practicality with the technology of the time. I mean, one of the main reasons why the joke of it was easier to just buy 2 Game Boys, buy 2 different copies of the game, and buy your own link cable is a joke, is because it really was easier for most people than to go and interact with people. Because this was also at, like, the very, very weird time of Pokemon still not really being widely accepted. Like, that's kind of the other thing that we don't really realize. Until maybe, like, the last decade, Pokemon was still not something that people were accepting towards other people being. You know, like, being a fan of Pokemon, you know, if you're, like, your older audiences, like, you know, until, like, the advent of Pokemon Go, and then more things like, say, X and Y happened, where it was designed for older appeal, that it became a bit more acceptable. But, you know, back, like, Gen 4, Gen 5, if you were, like, say, you know, 15 or so and you like Pokemon, you'd kind of get mocked. Even if you're, like, you were a bit younger, you still got mocked for it. You know, it was a very, like, risky thing to say you enjoyed. So it was often just easier to just go and get the other systems. Which is why the whole concept was incredibly flawed until, you know, the internet became a thing and online trades became much more viable, that concept then started working. It's kind of funny that, like, it took a decade and a half for Pokemon's main original marketing point to actually work. It was complete impracticality. Hey, nice midnight. New art supplies, fun. Thank you very much, Ultima. Just make sure that, like, they actually do watch for a bit, because the purge algorithm will actually remove them very, very quickly if they just, like, static and don't do anything. Counter-wise, they go by fast, and we got that many counters, only did they 4 shines. But also, Nafi, you gotta remember, there are certain people like you who, like, they are very, very, very hardwired into that. And, like, they're just used to doing, like, mass encounters day to day to day to day. You know, someone like me, I really struggled to get a little over odds in BDSP, where we did, I think it was, what, like, 5,000 encounters? And so divide 5,000 by 7 days. 5,000 by 7. Yeah, we did a little over, like, we did between 700 and 1,000 encounters per day for that. And I was only doing one game. I was, of course, doing just BDSP. I wasn't doing, you know, multi-game hunting. And that just wiped me out. I do not have the mental fortitude to do hunts like that. Other people, I mean, I know that they do. But it's a very difficult thing for, you know, each individual to have. All shiny is the game and all. Shiny, nice. Very nice. But yeah, it comes down to, like, how many games you're mass hunting with, which, you know, if you are mass hunting as well as the other things. I know a lot of the creators that do Safari Week, they're using, like, 5-6 games. You know, I remember, like, Way, he was doing, I think it was Way. I know Shiny Shack was doing 5 games. He was, like, doing 4 games in Ho and 2 Ruby, 2 Sapphire, and then 1 in BDSP. And, like, you know, that mass number increases your hunts exponentially. You're just throwing sheer numbers at things. But, you know, if you're just doing, like, 1 game, that reduces it. But also, encounters do take a little bit longer in the modern games because of all the loading times. Because you do an encounter back in Gen 1. Not Gen 1, Gen 3 or Gen 4. Those encounters, like that. You know, it's like 5 seconds, you're in, you're out. But, like, the modern one is, like, 30-second intro cutscene and out. It slows your progress to a good bit. So it's why, like, despite the odds being lower back in the older games, actually much, not easier, but, like, a little quicker to hit those odds because of the encounter rate. That's actually the reason why, despite Dynamax Adventures being 100, 1 in 100 odds for shinies, it is actually faster to go and hunt full, shiny charm odds soft reset, because the amount of time it takes per encounter is actually so much harder. It's a harsher time per encounter. So, say for full odds reset hunt, you know, I use my Zapdos shiny hunt for this. In about, I would say, between 10.5 hours, you know, extrapolating out from what our thing was, because we actually got the shiny very close to odds. And we did 4 hunts, well, 4 streams, but we got it like an hour into the 4th stream, when the previous ones were all 3 hours apiece. So I, you know, extrapolate that out with, there was less than 100 encounters left to get to the next one. So I extrapolate that to about 10.5 hours for hitting, you know, shiny charm odds. But you do the math out, like, okay, 1 encounter every, you know, minute, every say 40 seconds you get an encounter. You just lowball it. But you then compare that to, say, Dynamax Adventures, where it's about 1 in every 10 minutes you're getting an encounter. So even with the reduced odds, your time per encounter and your time per encounter to odds is far, far, far harsher, which makes it overall a much slower hunt. Well, slower hunt statistically, yes. I'm a very math person, and was nice. The team is Azal, Heatran, Dialga, Palkia, Ready Gigas, and Mesprit. Fun. We love Heatran. We are big fans of Melty Face Heatran here. One of my favorites to use competitively. I'm a big fan of competitive battles, by the way. Big competitive battle guy. I'm actually going to be replaying Legends soon. Because actually, we were actually talking about Legends earlier in the stream. Because, as mentioned, I'm a very competitive-brained player. I enjoy my competitive battling. And I want to get a 0 speed IV, 0 or 1 speed IV an Amorous. Not shiny Amorous, because you can't hunt shiny Amorous back in Legends, because it's not released yet. But 0 speed Amorous. The reason why this is annoying and actually this is actually difficult is that in Legends, I had to find my Legends copy, you cannot check IVs, because IVs don't exist in Legends. The only way to check IVs, and this is like range of IVs, is to catch the Amorous. Check its grit values. If its grit values are 0, then that will have an IV value of 0 to 19 when transferred into home. Meaning you need to save the game, turn the game off, send the Amorous into home to check what its IVs are. If it's not 0-1, gotta restart the entire save file to get another Amorous encounter. So I've got about a 1 in a 10 shot of getting my 0 speed or 1 speed Amorous in this game. And one thing we're actually thinking of doing was doing like a giveaway sort of thing where, because I'm bad at coming up with team compositions, I would have a little competition where the viewers, and new viewers, old viewers, viewers of all kinds, would submit teams for me to play through Legends with. This would be off screen for of course these playthroughs, because playing through the same game 10 or even more times would just really not be the most entertaining thing to watch, where they would submit these team recommendations to use, and I would use these viewer suggested teams, and then on the viewer suggested team that I actually do get the 0 or 1 speed Amorous, I would shiny hunt on stream all 6 of those recommended Pokemon, and then to the person who recommended that team, they would be given those 6 shinies. That was the idea that I had, and I'm thinking about doing that because I think it could be fun. Get of course some involvement of you guys and some stuff, and of course at the end when I'm finally getting it, those Pokemon will be shiny hunted then given to the viewers. Well, given to the viewer that suggested that team. Oh, nice. What shiny did you get, Ultima? What shiny did you find? Yeah, no Deerling. We have found so many shiny Deerling. I always have to check every single Deerling I see because we've gotten 11 of them shiny so far. Shiny Gibble, nice. But yeah, it was an idea that I had. It was like, okay, you guys recommend these teams, and then when the winning team essentially that gets the 0 or 1 speed Amorous, I would be shiny hunting that team and then giving that team to the recommender. So say like Midnight recommends a team of these things. Okay, I get the Amorous on that one. I would hunt the 6 Pokemon that was recommended and then trade them over to Midnight. So again get like you guys' involvement in the thing. Well, I mean, you can choose to not evolve it. You can choose to not evolve the Gibble into the Garchomp. This is one thing that I also kind of mentioned before that's a little funny. I actually don't really care much for like the shiny look of a lot of Pokemon relative to the change. For me, it's more, with shiny Pokemon, it is, does the color scheme of the shiny itself work? Less about how much does it actually change. Which I know I'm weird in that way. Because I know a lot of people, like, they really, really, really love, like, how much the shinies change. For me, it's more about just, does the new color scheme work? Or does the shiny color scheme work regardless of the base form? Unless, like, the shiny color scheme is a mirror of the original, like, say, Togepi, where the blue triangles and spots become red, and the red spots and triangles become blue. Or, like, I like that flipping. Giveaways another. Yeah, for me, it's more about what does the shiny color scheme itself look like, rather than like how much does it change. Which I know is weird for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people, it's like they love how much the shinies change. Gotta go. Okay, Midnight. We understand you gotta go do your teaching stuff and things. You gotta be Miss Teacher Lady. Shiny Dragonair is nice. Shiny Dragonair is just cotton candy. It is the cotton candy noodle. It is a noodle made of pure cotton candy. And we love it. It is adorable. We actually have shiny hunted the entire Dragonite family, and that was not a fun hunt. That was not fun. Thankfully, I don't need shiny hunt anything in Lag Lake, Casseroya Lake anymore. I have finished with everything that needs that. Everything within Casseroya Lake that is shiny possible that we needed for the living shiny decks has now been caught. So I do not need to go there ever again. And I'm happy for that. That was good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna like put together the whole like rules for the whole like the Legends thing. I need to put together like that whole rules for the thing soon, because obviously I'm not gonna have like the thing we all 3 starters and like full starter team, full like full EV, like obviously not those, because like those would just be like a pain like to just collect on my own. The whole point is like to be relatively fast. Would be like a relatively fast things. But shiny makes me want to go on Legends. Yeah, I never really enjoyed shiny hunting in Legends, Melon, because all it ended up ever being for me was just hopping on Hisui and Braviary and just like flying in circles, waiting for an audio cue, rather than like I enjoy this with like I'm actively looking for shinies, rather than just like an audio cue jingling, and there's like the glowing sparkle thing that says shiny, shiny, shiny. But I recognize I'm a little weird in that. I recognize I'm a little weird when it comes to my wanting to shiny hunt stuff and things. Yeah, no way. An Arceus. Yeah, you're in Scarlet now. We still have to shiny hunt Arceus. I'm gonna be finishing my Legends Pokedex off screen, and then starting my shiny Arceus hunt in BDSP, because I'm gonna need to get that first before I restart my version in order to get that. Yeah, I mean, I prefer something. I remember I have ADD. I have attention deficit disorder, so if I'm just flying around in circles waiting for an audio cue to happen, I space out very, very easily, and it quickly goes into being unfun. Well, the thing is, we don't actually know if that Togepi was shiny or not. That's the thing is, I've tried looking back at that footage. I did not hear an audio cue. That was... I did not hear an audio cue, and I didn't see the sparkle ring around it. So, I'm still unsure if that was actually a shiny Togepi. Because you can't really see it. It's barely there on screen. Found a shiny Growlithe. Nice. Very nice. We do love the goodest boy. We do love the goodest of boys. It was a shiny. Nice. Haunting Legends. You Outbreak. Nice. Yeah, I'm still unsure if that was actually a shiny Togepi is the thing, because I went over that footage more than a couple of times, and I've never seen like the sparkle thing. I've never heard the audio cue. And we are going to be doing a shiny hunt for Togepi. We are going to be doing a shiny Togepi hunt because I love Togepi. It is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I intensely look forward to having a shiny one for competitive purposes. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Shiny Arceus is one that we're going to be doing ourselves. I just need to get that before I can start doing my Enamorous hunt, which is a good thing, because it's going to give time for like the Enamorous playthrough Shiny teams to basically be submitted. Because I'm going to need a shiny on Arceus. I'm going to need to... I think actually what I'm going to be doing with that is I'm going to be doing a tandem Arceus shiny hunt and Poipole shiny hunt simultaneously. So I have a few things going on that, you know, if I get one, I get one. If I get one thing, so like I have two like simultaneous offset shiny hunts because of how long the resets take, to maybe make it a little easier. So I think that's what I'm gonna go do. I think that's how like the plan is gonna be. Speed up stuff and things. It'll be a bit wonky to make a layout for though, so that's gonna be something. But it is one that I think I can take that and take it on. I think I can do that. Oh, but yeah, I look forward to eventually. I still want my shiny Poipole. I just hope when they add Poipole back in this game, you can actually shiny hunt it, and you can shiny hunt it with whatever Pokeball you want. Because that is my biggest peeve. That is my biggest pet peeve, is I just want a Beast Ball shiny Poipole. Because you cannot get a Poipole in any other Pokeball than the regular box standard Pokeball. And that infuriates me. Like, I just want my Beast Ball Poipole. Hunting Cyndaquil and Legends. Yikes. Yeah, I still gotta hunt my Hisuian Cyndaquil. Wasn't that Hisuian Typhlosion from a Cyndaquil that will evolve into the Hisuian Evolution and get that whole family line completed. Still gotta work on that one. Well, then again, I'm still not sure where I fall on, like, the full shiny living decks of, like, regional variant status things. Because I'm not gonna hunt for, like, every single form of Paldean Tauros. I have a Paldean Tauros shiny, and I have a regular Tauros shiny. So I would probably do those, like, off-screen, I guess, like, if I wanted to get those. But, you know, otherwise, you know, probably not. But, you know, I'm not going to hunt for, like, a blue stripe Basculin and white stripe Basculin when I already have the shiny red stripe, or I already have the shiny blue stripe, and I'm not going to go for the red stripe. I forget which one I actually have. And, you know, two Basculegions, like, not going to go for all of them, probably on stream, because I see it more as I have the dex number of that thing already shiny registered. No, I honestly didn't really play Legends all that much. I didn't play too much of Legends because I kind of didn't really enjoy it. I'm much more of a battler than I am a shiny hunter, and Legends was very much go out, catch this Pokemon 30 times, go out, catch this, use this move like 20 times, and then do that for like 250 Pokemon, 240 Pokemon, not 250, which isn't necessarily my most entertaining thing. I enjoy very much battling, and I didn't enjoy it that much. So I didn't go out for like alpha shiny hunting. I did a few streams of shiny alpha hunting. We didn't find any shiny alphas, but I also didn't even have the shiny chum when I did that, because I just didn't fill out the entire Pokedex yet. I still haven't filled out the entire Legends shiny. I haven't filled out the entire Legends Pokedex yet. I'm probably gonna be doing that off screen and working on getting the shiny Arceus in BDSP. That's gonna be fun to look to. It's gonna be fun. See, that'll be. I still have to do a few things. Hey, thank you very much, Jeremy Guyton. Welcome in. Thank you very much for that subscribe. Hope you are doing well, and welcome to the Panther Battalion, which is what we like to call our little subscriber thingy. But how are you doing? Thank you very much for that. I need to set up some bot that, like, thanks people when they subscribe. I need to set something like that up. But I also know I do not have the bot skills to do that at all. I am smooth brain when it comes to technology in general. You are the Ember. Yes, Ember is the bot. Secretly, this entire time, Ember has just been a bot. Her entire channel is a lie. She's just a bot. It is nothing but an AI in just holographic projection. Nice. Nice shiny Growlithe. We love. Yeah, we just need the one more Growlithe shiny, and then we are good. So okay, my sandwich power is still gonna go. We have a little bit left. I also need to go get some more water because it's important to hydrate or dehydrate. Drink water, if only to outlive your enemies. If only to outlast your enemies. So we love Gastrodon here. Gastrodon is the living incarnation. Hydrate or dehydrate. Because Storm Drain. Doesn't matter what kind of water do you throw at Gastrodon, it just drinks it down. It can absorb any and all water you throw at it. Find a shiny. Oh, yes! We got the shiny Ho-Oh about a month ago. Gonna be getting around to, like, editing that entire, like, reaction thing out. Because, yeah, for those who don't know, which is probably a significant majority of you guys, because this was a hunt that actually started well before many of you guys joined. We have been hunting shiny Ho-Oh via Dynamax Adventures for over a year and a half at the time that I got it. So we started that shiny hunt for Ho-Oh in November of 2021, as in like the first day of November, and I only just got it back in like the end of April or the beginning of May. I forget the exact day, because it was very late at night and it was like, we got it, I'm done. My brain is just paste. So yeah, it was something that happened. And my brain just like freaking crapped out. But we finally got the Ho-Oh after a year and a half of shiny hunting that thing. And I'm happy it's finally done. I am beyond happy it is finally over. But it does mean that we need to now hunt shiny Lugia in our Soul Silver version. Because I made a passing joke in that yeah, it would probably be faster to shiny hunt Lugia in Soul Silver than it would have been to shiny hunt Lugia in, like, full odds shiny hunt Lugia in Soul Silver, because I actually have a physical Soul Silver copy, than it would be to have shiny hunted this thing. And yeah, statistically speaking, it would have been faster to hit odds. So it's one of those things where we're just going to be doing it now. I decided that we were going to be doing that. Alright, but make a picnic. I will go get some more water. Be back in a little bit of a short second. Don't touch that dial, you lovely, lovely viewers. You wonderful, wonderful viewers. There we go. And let's make a sandwich. Red fish. It is fish. Fish. That was back. Gyarados' shiny was back in the days of the color palette algorithm being what was used, where it just swapped colors, not really intentionally designed shinies, which, I'll be real, I'm not a big fan of intentionally designed shinies. Like, when they're intentionally designed to look really cool. Kind of takes a lot away from me when it's like, okay, these things look cool, but they were designed. Yes, sandwiches do help with egg hatching. If you do egg power sandwiches, they will actually speed up your egg hatches a little bit. The empirical data that people have gathered, because I don't believe we've actually found the hard, fast code for it, but people have experimented with this. And it is, with like using timestamps on videos, like starting at the same time of like moving, it does actually speed it up. It's like a quarter of your hatching time is like shaved off, which when you can, like, over the course of like 5 eggs, that doesn't really seem like a whole lot. But when you extrapolate, you know, say a quarter of your hatch time, say it takes a minute and a half to hatch eggs. So you're shaving off, you know, maybe like 20 seconds, you know, per batch of eggs. It doesn't seem like a whole lot. But then, okay, well, that's 20 seconds per batch of eggs. Then multiply that out by, you know, 3 batches of eggs. That's, you know, 15 eggs. That's a minute right there. Then, okay, well, 1 minute off there. So 15, you know, 3 batches of eggs, 15 eggs. Multiply that out by, you know, say 5. That's 5 minutes right there. So 15 times 5 is 75 eggs. Over the course of a long period of time, you know, when you're hatching for, say, hours and hours and hours, I do not believe it's a shiny Slowpoke, but we can check. You know, it's not. Yeah, shiny Slowpoke's like a little more pale, I'm pretty sure. But like over the course of like, say, many batches, and into like hundreds of batches, you know, it really does add up. You know, so you can basically say like every 3 minutes, every 3 batches, that is a minute you have shaved off your time. And we hatch, you know, 112 eggs. So that is, 112 eggs is 24 batches, I believe. So that's about a half hour we've just like shaved off. So like 8 minutes we've actually taken off the entire thing on a light stream. So, and then we would hatch even more eggs. So it really does help. It really, really, really helps. But are you doing the red shiny for Islands and Legends? I already have shiny Gyarados in other games for the Living Shiny decks. I actually never needed to hunt Gyarados in Legends. I've actually done very, very little shiny hunts within Legends. Most of my Legends shinies I've actually gotten were just kind of accidental shinies. The big one being my first shiny I ever got in Legends. Shiny Chatot. I beat the game with that shiny Chatot because it was the first shiny I found in that game, and the only shiny I found in the entire main story. Ah, Chatot. Yeah, I didn't even need that one. I didn't even need to do the Johto one to get the free shiny Gyarados. But even then, like, yeah, that would have worked. But I've gotten them other ways, just from other games. But yeah, it was neat. I wish I Slowpoke was. I'll be real. I don't really think any shinies need to be changed. I know that's a bit of an oddity for like me as like a guy who does shiny hunting, but I mentioned it a little bit earlier. But for me, how much the shiny changes from the original doesn't really matter to me. Unless it's something like, you know, again, like the shiny Togekiss, where Togekiss is red and blue, they swap placement on the pattern, where I like that, because like, that's actually pretty cool, it mirrors. But other than that, you know, the base color scheme and the shiny color scheme, I treat them as like 2 separate entities altogether. And how much the change actually is kind of immaterial to me. I know a lot of people are a bit different, where like they like how much it changes relative to the original. But, you know, for me, it's a thing of like, you know, Garchomp's color scheme as it is works. Even though the shiny color scheme doesn't change all that much, the color scheme overall still works. So it's like, not that I like Garchomp's shiny color scheme, but I think the color scheme still looks good even as a shiny. Which is for me more like, it is more so, does the color scheme still look good regardless of how much it changes? Is kind of more my stance. You know, it's why I actually really like shiny Zapdos. I just liked a little bit of a darker yellow. It goes from like, you know, it's almost like not necessarily pale yellow to just like a slightly more like gold shade. Very slight, and like the beak gets more orange. Very slight, but I do like it. Like Reshiram, love shiny Reshiram. Yeah, it still pretty much stays the same except for like the little gold rings. I think it looks very nice. The little accents look nice. Shiny Heatran. I like that the eyes go pink. I love the eyes being pink. Yeah, it's... For me, shinies don't need to change a whole lot to be good. It's, does the color scheme still work, is more my stance. But I fully recognize I am a complete anomaly in that category of when it comes to liking shinies. That is a complete anomalous data point when it comes to me. And I fully accept that. Like, I love shiny Heracross. I love pink. I love the pink and purple bug. It depends on, like, what game, like, or lighting. Like, I love it. Look Articuno shiny looks like. Yeah, like, Articuno is another one, like, that I point to. The color scheme works. It goes from, like, blue to, like, this, like, very, very light, icy blue. Which, that works. That color scheme works. I will say, though, I don't like Moltres' shiny color scheme, because it looks like it's a raw chicken. I don't like the pink. That, like, because it looks raw when you look at shiny Moltres. It doesn't look good. And that's what I mean was, like, does the color scheme work? I don't think shiny Moltres' color scheme works. So, like, that, it's kind of that. Again, that's kind of like where my whole shiny thing comes from. Like, I love shiny Zapdos. I think it looks great. I actually really like shiny Palkia. I like the pink. I like shiny Dialga. I like the tealish color it's got. We're gonna kind of shiny a little more lightly. Shiny Galarian Moltres is just regular Moltres' color scheme. I will say, I don't know how I feel on them making HISUI and Galarian counterparts to Pokemon's shinies just inherit the color scheme. Because, like, I do legitimately like shiny Alolan Muck and shiny Alolan Grime where they just go all purple. But I'm not sure if I like them just flipping all the color schemes of them to just be their base counterparts color schemes. Like shiny HISUI and Samurai is just the same color scheme as regular Samurai. Shiny HISUI and Decidueye is just the same color scheme as regular Decidueye. Not sure how I feel about that. It's neat that, like, they keep doing that theming, but I don't, and again, this comes from them being intentionally designed to be that way, so it makes sense. You know, I get why they do it, but not the biggest thing that it keeps being done. Because I would like if they had more like I would like it more if their shinies were more distinct, like on their own separate thing. So it's kind of that. But that's kind of here nor there. Kind of a bug with Quick Pot. She was gonna be my first shiny legend. Interesting. Yeah, it always is not good when you miss a shiny. I have filled a shiny in this game, 2 of them, one of which was a shiny Salazar. Another was a shiny Satotl. We didn't reclaim the Satotl though. We haven't reclaimed the shiny Salazar yet. Also, I failed a shiny Knackley, but that was because I misclicked. Not, I just didn't notice it. Well, the shiny Salazar was because it ran off screen when I was hatching an egg, rather than, I missed it. It was literally just ran out of range. Wow, we are almost done with all our eggs today. This is why I need to go and I need to breed out more eggs. I need to get more of them. Because I forget how fast it goes now that I'm actually using my sandwiches again. It's been so long since we've Masuda hunted, I forgot how quickly it goes. And that's why I'm going to be migrating a whole bunch of my stuff into my Scarlet version for safekeeping. Because my plan is basically store all of the Dex filler stuff in Scarlet version. So this version is going to contain my shinies and my competitive battling Pokemon, whereas Scarlet is going to basically be my holding pen for a while stuff. So I'm going to be suiting it in this one. So that way I can just go and get, like, you know, 10 boxes, like more boxes of just like Masuda huntable Pokemon, and just keep milling through those. The only annoying part is going to be editing everything. Not editing it, but like waiting the time to collect all the eggs. But I can do like a big box collect day of like every 2 or 3 days, like 3 or 4 days. Just collect like 20 boxes of eggs, and then just do that again and again and again and again and again. Because it is often better to just do massive mass collection of eggs, and because a single day of just spending all that just collecting eggs is better than just like getting it intermittently, because then it's just annoying. So I don't have to interrupt other stuff that I'm doing and just modify accordingly. So I can get back to recording series, editing, because this is what I do when it comes to my Masuda collections, and this is what I encourage people to always do when it comes to their Masuda hunt collections. Always find something else to do when you are Masuda collecting in Scarlet Violet. So for me, that is editing my videos. Like, I will record stuff and then edit them when I'm Masuda collecting. I will like do exercise, because I do a bit of exercises in my room, you know, trying to lose weight and stuff. When I'm also collecting eggs, cleaning my room, doing stuff around the house, you know, every like 5 minutes, just come back here, mash the A button, collect my eggs, every half hour, make a new sandwich. So the best way is to get on that multitasking grind set mindset, or just like shiny hunt something else. You know, it's a great way of just shiny hunting something else. But one of the things that I plan on doing is, well, probably not the greatest thing to do this like when doing like streams live, but you know, if I'm like shiny hunting Ployple in like off time, because I am going to be doing like some shiny hunts off screen for certain things, while doing those shiny hunts in, say, you know, DS games or other games, just collecting eggs while I'm doing that passively. What's Luna doing? What's Luna doing? What Luna was doing. But yeah, basically, I just get on that mindset. Nice full odds shiny Ditto. That's shiny Ditto's a hard one to get. We have a shiny Ditto. Got that in Sword and Shield via Dynamax Adventures. One of my first shiny hunt. One of my first Dynamax Adventure shinies. I know my first one I got via Dynamax Adventure shinies. I'm pretty sure that was my shiny version, shiny Alola version. So there was that. But yeah, one thing that I regret doing is not timestamp writing down a lot of my shinies that I got from things like Dynamax Adventures, because shiny reaction do very well with short. That was Regirock. Regirock was Regirock. We love Regirock. It's such an amusing Pokemon. Like, that Regirock soundbite is one of the things that I point to when I say less is more humor. You don't need some, like, super convoluted, long-winded mega joke. You just need... Oh, Luna's in the basement. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Bro, I need to be violent so I don't, shiny legends. Well, what do you, why do you think that beating the game, you don't need to beat the game to get the shiny charm. It's just, it helps. it helps with it because you can... Because I don't believe there's anything in the game that is specifically locked until you beat the game. Unless you're referring to, like, Urban Mystica, which you do need to beat the game to get Urban Mystica raids. Well, you need to beat the game to get level, the level 6 and 5 raids. Ah, yes, Urban Mystica. Okay, that's why. But yeah, Eevee is, Then again, you're probably going to do an Eevee outbreak for that, which is what we were waiting for. Yeah, the Eevee family to shiny hunt is going to be nightmares to hunt. Because we've gotten Jolteon. We have Vaporeon. We know a good spot to hunt Espeon, or Shrexpeon. But we need to get to the rest of them. And that's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy at all, because... Eevee's probably going to be a Masuda hunt for me, all things considered, if I can't find good spots to hunt the others. Because I know Glaceon's a lost cause. The only area where you can hunt Glaceon, there's a whole bunch of ice types, so spawn interference is going to be crazy there. I'm not going to shiny hunt Eevee without an Eevee outbreak, because we've tried hunting that before. We just get spawn interference of a crap ton of normal types. And... the others, I haven't really found good spawn points for yet. I haven't found an Umbreon spawn point where I can just basically get Umbreon without spawn interference. I haven't found a Sylveon spot with no spawn interference from other fairy types. I have not found a Leafeon spawn point without spawn interference. So I need to find like a location with no spawn interference, or just find an Eevee outbreak and then basically just continuously grind that Eevee outbreak to get the rest of them. I like the blue flames on Shiny Ponyta. I like the blue flames. Little propane horse. Little propane horse. Umbreon card back. I have no idea what that even means. You actually came in towards the end midnight. We're actually getting about ready to end. Because we're kind of winding down on our eggs. We only have, I believe, 5 more eggs left to hatch. And then we're going to go on a Mechanized Maxis raid, which is our end raid thing. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is, I can just go and collect more eggs. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving over my stuff to my Scarlet version and basically collecting a lot more eggs. So we're going to be doing that later. Well, I'm going to be collecting the eggs now. And then I'm going to be collecting the eggs after moving everything over. So that way I can do more and more collections later. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have any more eggs. Like, I mean, I guess we could do one... we do a flying type sandwich. So we will do a flying encounter sandwich. We will do a flying encounter power sandwich. Dash is the... So yeah, so we will do a flying sandwich over here, and see if we can get one. There's a few flying types we actually need to get the shiny of. There's quite a few of them. So we'll do that. Oh, remind me of something funny. You know how Sly hours on Scarlet? I know for a fact several of those are me getting his eggs after he gets tired. Oh my gosh, Sly. So, like, what does Sly even do when he is collecting eggs? Or does he just not do it? Does he just sit there for hours just mashing A, doing nothing else? Because he needs to get back on that mindset grind. Yeah, the Eevee outbreaks are very rare. Those are very rare. He sets his switch down and so he basically just mashes the A button then. Interesting. Yeah, he does the least effective way of doing stuff. He really should edit video. What he should do is he should, if you record stuff, edit them when he is doing that. That is the most effective way of doing it. And this is our final Growlithe egg of the thing. But what we are going to do... Oh, wait. That was a Growlithe egg? Okay, then. Weird. I guess I must have gotten one of my Growlithe eggs mixed in. Interesting. Well, I mean, I did say we were going to hunt for shiny flying types after this. Yeah, that was a smooth move right there. That's very weird. That was very, very weird. Who's the luxury ball? Okay. Well, now it's time to do some shiny flying hunts. Looks like it out. Rowlet jump scare. Exactly. Rowlet jump scare. Groudon. I need to. I'm gonna be shiny hunting Groudon eventually at some point. All right, let's get our false swipe users out. Let's get our false swipe users out and about. So we will save. Flying sandwich. I don't actually know what the ingredient for flying sandwiches are. So, let's see. So, let's see. Sandwich recipe. Scarlet, Violet, Sparkle Power. I used to have this like bookmarked somewhere, and I can't find it anymore. Okay. There we go. All right. Of course. Okay, we'll see over here. I mean, I just pulled one up. They should be fine. Okay, so tomato, onion, pepper, and then flying is 2 things of prosciutto. There we go. Creative mode, tomato, onion, green bell pepper, and then 2 servings of prosciutto. Because I remember someone said that you don't actually need the hamburger. What's the mystery gift? Those were HISUI and Growlithe. Those are the regional variant from Legends. That's why they look different. Oh, that was the prosciutto. That was why it looked weird. 3, 2, 1. So let's see if this actually does work. Arcanine. Oh, Arcanine recent tournament. I wonder what that Arcanine actually has for set-wise. Okay, let's see what our power is for this one, because we are just gonna do 1 sandwich for flying, and I hope I can get my shinies on this one. I hope I can get a shiny for this one. Well, let's go. Let's go for this one. I want to try and get like into the groove of some longer screen. Sparkle power, encounter power. Yep. All right. So you do not need the burger. You don't need a burger. Which is good. Which is good burger. Welcome to the good burger. Yeah, I don't trust myself when it comes to potentially shiny Tropius. I know it's a slight change, but the others I do. I trust myself to be able to identify, because I know when it comes to a couple of the others what they do look like. I know with Scyther, it's like the arms a little pink. Hoppip family, I know what those look like. But the burger, yeah, which is weird that the burger is like, it was on all the things, but like you don't actually need the burger. So I do wonder how people, like, figured out, like, the only thing I can think of is that the burger was, like, experimental trial and error when people figured that out. And whether or not, like, it actually did anything. So, it's a fascinating thing I would like to know about. But I also would not be surprised if it was like, oh yeah, we just saw it actually affects things in no way whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. It was on every single recipe guide. It was like, yeah, if you're gonna be, you know, shiny hunting with, you know, with sandwiches, you need burger and these other things. Like, yeah, no, the burger is completely inconsequential on it. Would I just find fascinating? Really, why are there so many trophies here? Yeah, I will send my little blade thing to attack the Tropius, because I'm not... Just to make sure that they're not sparkle. Just to make sure they are not sparkle shines. But yeah, we are going to be doing some flying shiny hunt. And then we're going to end off after this. So, there is that. So yeah, this is going to be what we do until we end off. Come on, give me my sparkly flying. I would very much like a shiny to end off this thing with. If you would be so kind, game. Even if it is another shiny Murkrow. Because I like my shiny purple VGC bird. I like the shiny VGC bird. Oh yeah, right, Bombardier also appears around here. Maybe it would have been better to hunt during the day, so I could get Hoppip, which I need. Because I do need Hoppip shiny. But I think I'll get Fletchinder. So that also kind of works. Fletchinder's part flying, right? I mean, not part flying. Fletchinder's part fire, right? I have basically committed nothing about the Talonflame family to memory, other than I know Fletchling is normal flying. But is Fletchinder part fire? Because if so, I can just hunt Fletchinder here easy by just making fire sandwiches. So I don't need to actually deal with it. With Talonflame. Okay, good, it is part fire. Okay, that's good. That'll make it easier. Because I don't think any other fire types around here will pop up. Maybe aside from, like Karkadat, but even I think Karkadat's pretty rare. So yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to be doing. I guess maybe one thing I can do going forward with my Masuda hunt is when I finish my eggs, then I go into sandwich hunting. So that could also work. I still need to figure out, you know, stuff for plans. Yeah, 2 big birds of fire horses. Well, the thing is, that's how my understanding is the entire thing. I don't care for Talonflame. I was never really a big fan of it, mostly because when I saw that as a lower attack stat than Amoonguss, it was like, yeah, no, you're weaker than Amoonguss. I will now forever dub the Talonflame. Because Amoonguss punches harder than you. That really shows what effort value investment does to Pokemon. That really shows what natures and effort values do to Pokemon, as well as health items, and the sheer power they move like Brave Bird. That if something has a lower attack than Amoonguss, but it out-damages Amoonguss because of the way it's built, I just find that too funny. I just find that way too funny. I mean, granted, I was never particularly fond of, like, most of the regional birds, I will say. Like, I like Toucannon, because Toucannon's, like, I like the design of it. Noctowl, I just think is a really cool-looking Pokemon, and I don't really care for it much here. I think it looks neat. I like owls. But the only other one I can say is, like, yeah, I like Staraptor because I've enjoyed using it in playthroughs where close combat's really fun to have on a flying type. Because a lot of what it is actually weak to, or just does not do well against, close combat actually does very well for. And also, like, Intimidate is a really good ability. Intimidate is really fun. So, it's really the only regional bird that I'm too fond of and like will enjoy using are Staraptor and Toucanon, but I don't personally care for like Noctowl in a playing style sense. The others, I guess Corviknight too, but like Corviknight's kind of also a bit of a weird thing where it was kind of all like to be a mascot of Generation 8 and was treated a little bit differently than the other regional birds. So it's weird gray area. Yeah, I still wish that they did have all the regional birds actually not be like other types and flying. Controversial statement time. I kind of wish they kept them all being normal flying, or at the very least just pure flying, not making them have like other alternate typings. But that also is like just me. I know I have there's a few like thought lines I have for things, but that's kind of like the one. Bird of Paradise, sketchy bird based on flying mascot. Yeah, Corviknight is like probably my favorite of the regional birds. Like when you go into like they are the birds from the region, the main ones. It's probably my favorite, but a large part of that comes down to it was like really the regional bird that was kind of given the most in terms of a toolkit. Body press, bulk up, hone claws, power trip. It gets so many good stuff. Whereas the others tend to be a bit more, I guess, like box standard flying types is more so how tend the others be. Like, again, the big exceptions were, Toucanon and Staraptor, again, aside from the non-normal flying type Talonflame, where that's the whole fire type thing going. But yeah, the big outliers were those two because they were meant to be a bit more specialized in terms of offensive because of certain moves. But especially Toucanon, where Toucanon gets that skilling that Toucanon gets is fun. Though amusingly, Toucanon was actually not the most frequently used of the Toucanon family in the competitive arena. The most frequently used of the three of them was actually Trumbeak, because they would go Eviolite Trumbeak with Skill Link, and then give it like Bullet Seed or Rock Blast, and then use that in conjunction with Mudsdale to either give Mudsdale a weakness policy, then proc that, or they would just not have weakness policy on it, just proccing that insanity. Hello there, Abercrombie. How are you doing? We're doing well. We were shiny hunting Growlithe earlier. We finished all of our eggs. No shiny Sparkle Dogo, but we are doing a single sandwich of Flying Sparkle Power, Flying Encounter Power, and after that, we're going to be ending off. But how are you doing today is the best question to ask. No sparkly purple VGC bird. No sparkly purple VGC bird yet. I mean, I've gotten so many shiny Murkrow already. Hear me out, Grouse. That is not bad. Interesting. Play drive-through. Interesting. Chick-fil-A. I enjoy Chick-fil-A. I did not enjoy the Chick-fil-A my college had because it was like bad Chick-fil-A, if that's even possible. Because they somehow screwed up Chick-fil-A at my college. They somehow screwed it up. I don't think who is in Sword. It is in Sword. I believe it is on the Isle of Armor, the Crown Tundra. I think. It might be in the base game, but I think they were added in the Isle of Armor or Crown Tundra. I know it's in Sword and Shield because you can get Hoot and get Noctowl in Dynamax Adventures, meaning it has to be in the base game. It has to be in the game, not the base game. I actually don't know where you get it. Synergy abilities of combination full blade. I mean, I think that would be a bit broken. Because, like, we already have, Scovillain, who's Fire Grass, and that thing is just terrifying. Like, Scovillain is one of those Pokemon that its stat line is really the only thing that keeps it from being one of the most absolute just destroyers of everything in existence. Because Fire Grass is a very, very obnoxious typing to deal with. We did not realize that until Scovillain existed, because very few fire types would ever realistically run something like Solar Beam, because it's just very impractical unless you're like Torkoal, or you're Dynamaxing and then using Max Overgrow. The great thing about was farming those Green Bears and Legends somehow gave me a shiny. What shiny what? What were you shiny hunting? That you got the shiny of the thing. Really? Only 10? I forgot what it was like to shiny hunt with sandwiches. I completely have a horrible sense of time. Well, the good thing is that hopefully the Murkrow are going to be going away soon, because now it is going into daytime. So hopefully we can get more Hoppip, because I would like to get shiny Hoppip. That takes away. Like that would be terrifying. That would be a very, very terrifying idea. Scovillain already exists, and debatably, I would say Scovillain's got a better ability in the form of access to Chlorophyll or Solar Power. Because it's Scovillain. Scovillain is very strong. Again, its stat line's kind of the only issue for it, but that stat line issue is also more of a mercy on us as players. If that thing had an actual, like, really, really high stat line, it'd be terrifying to deal with. Because, again, you're only weak to Flying, Rock, Poison. And you're already super effective against Rock with your Grass-type moves. And Flying has a bit of issues. And Poison, generally Poison types have a subtyping that is also weak to fire. They generally are Poison Grass or Bug. Is it Poison Bug? Poison Bug or Poison Grass. Not all of them, but a good number of them are. Which poses a big issue for, you know, Poison types wanting to be scooted in. Granted, Poison is also not necessarily one of the better typings because of its weakness issues and not very good offensive profile issues, where it is strictly good for Grass and Fairy, and realistically, Steel is better at handling Fairy, and debatably Steel is better at handling Grass because of typing reasons, defensively, broad spectrum things. But yeah, there's a very good reason why Poison types have generally been held back by their typing. And generally when Poison types have been good, it is often because of their secondary typing, like say Gengar, where it's the Ghost type that's really fast. Or it's where it's like a Moongus, where it just gets Spore access, and it gets all this other stuff like Regenerator, and it's just a nightmare status to deal with. Yeah, Iron Valiant's an interesting one. I like how they did the Paradox Pokemon cries. Because, like, they're kind of the base Pokemon's cry, but just, like, a little distorted. Oh, yeah, right. You're a daytime exclusive spawn. Yeah, the Staraptor family is a daytime exclusive spawn, so that's not fun to deal with. Not exactly fun. Yeah, we need to shiny hunt that again at some point. That is, that's a hunt at some point we're doing. But again, living shiny decks, basically everything is a shiny hunt we're doing at some point. So, there is that. Nice. Yeah, I guess who was Route 2? Yeah, I don't really remember who that much, because when I played my copy of Sword and Shield, I exclusively used new Pokemon. I don't use, like, the old stuff. So I kind of forget about that. Ooh, levitate or roll the Gengar for his body. I would say that Gengar with Levitate was just way too powerful. Levitate Gengar was a nightmare to deal with. It was so freaking overpowered. Not overpowered, but like, it was very, very strong. It has outright 4 immunities. Well, not 4 immunities. It has outright, it has 3 immunities, you know, because of the immunity to the ground, because of Levitate, and then immune normal and immune to fighting. Immune to status conditions, you know, immune to the status condition of poison, and immunity to being trapped. It just has so much. Depends on actually how you're gonna run at midnight. Something like that, I could probably inform you a bit more off screen, but that depends. Oh yeah, right, there's also, Flamigo is a flying type around here. Forgot about you. Nope, you're not shiny. Yeah, I could help you about that midnight off screen, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to Lurantis with how versatile it can be. There's a lot to unpack with that thing. Fairly neat, but there's a lot to unpack with it. Happy to help. Happy to assist. Really, are we not going to get a shiny with this sandwich? Are we not going to find a shiny? Wow. Well, I mean, we still have we have half the sandwich timer left, so we still could find the shiny. Okay, have a good night. Have a good night, Apple Crumpy. Be later tonight. We are going to continue with our Tears of the Kingdom stuff, so we have more stuff and things later tonight. Gonna be recording some stuff. I'm gonna be getting some more eggs. And planning for just the game stuff. I'm going to switch when you do the opposing parting shot. Well, you don't really use parting shot in singles. Parting shot is one of those things that you don't tend to run because it's a pivot move in doubles. It's good in doubles for very different reasons than certain moves are good in singles. It's for much the same reason why you don't see things like Stealth Rocks in doubles. It's just the way the battles are. The battle format is, it doesn't lend itself to that kind of move. One of the other things is also magic bounce users in singles are a lot more common, which like reflect that. So it doesn't actually benefit you all that well. But yeah, there's a number of reasons why you don't really use parting shot in singles. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't really play singles that much. I prefer doubles. It's more fast paced. It's, there's no stall, no legacy moves, which I'm a big fan of no legacy moves. And they're just what you can do. Like one of the big things about it is like you can do stuff like follow me, you can do helping hand, you can do like screens, fake out. There's so much you can do in doubles that you just don't really do in singles. And that comes down to like the very intrinsic nature of the way the battle system is designed. Singles, it's very easy to stall things a little more, so you can run the game longer, residual damage. Singles is more focused on switch outs, whereas doubles is more focused on, like, not necessarily pivoting, but on overall team cohesion. Basically, like, these things can work well with these things. I can helping hand my ally. I can helping hand my ally. I can redirect from my ally. I can have, ally crowd control with other things. Whereas singles is a bit more switch-based, positioning things for, I can try to force you to bring in this thing, I can set up hazards, and a bunch of things like that. It's one of the reasons I'm not as big of a singles fan, because it is a significantly slower game, and you guys know me, I have ADD. If my focus slips in a very, very long run, I'll say, shiny Hoppip! We got a shiny. I think probably the first time someone's been happy to see a shiny Hoppip. It is hello, little friend. It is little green friendo. Actually, let me check to see if you have any moves, because I'm fairly certain Jumpluff learns Memento. I don't know if you learn it by this point, but I am not taking any chances. I am not taking chances. So level 33. Bounce. Oh, no, Giga Drain, U-turn, counter. Okay. It doesn't have Memento yet. It does not have Memento yet. Yeah, Memento is learned at level 38. So a few more levels and you could have gotten Memento, which is good. Yeah. I had a friend who they found a shiny Iron Thorns, and their shiny Iron Thorns took itself out of the equation with Wild Charge. And not fun for him. But we got a shiny. We got the shiny Hoppip. I was thinking, like, we need to get a shiny for this one. We did get one though. We did get a shiny. So even if, I think that's probably what we're gonna do going forward. We are going to be doing a Masuda hunt, and then after the Masuda hunt, we probably switch over like 1 or 2 sandwich hunts of like wild stuff, and see where that takes us. Oh, congrats on the Hoppip. I was like, Pip? So I generally associate Pip with Piplup. That makes sense. But yeah, we got a shiny grass. Shiny grass. We got it. We got sparkle grass. How much longer we got left? We got 10 minutes. Okay. I guess that's good. I can go find someone to go raid. What was that? Oh, Fletchender. Fletchender. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I look forward to tonight's Tears of the Kingdom stuff because we're gonna shenanigans. We are going to be doing some shenanigans today in Tears of the Kingdom. As always, we do in Tears of the Kingdom shenanigans. But I think today our goal is going to be more heavily focused on just armor getting. I'm gonna need to like look up how many armors I still gotta go get, and then from there, I will systematically like work on eliminating the armors we have still yet to acquire. And that way we can upgrade them. Because that's the big thing right now, is armor upgrades is just going to take a while. Armor hunt, exactly. Well, the main reason why is we're going for true 100% in Tears of the Kingdom, which for true 100% we need to get all of the armors upgraded. We need to do all the side quests. We need to do everything. And that is where the bulk of our time consumption is going to be. But, good thing is that the armors are not very hard to upgrade, just time consuming, which I can just work on that gradually. So, and we can work on that in conjunction with a bunch of other things, because we need to hunt down a bunch of monsters for stuff, which we can collect the monster parts from. But things like, you know, collect 35 Lizalfo's tails in total for a singular armor piece is going to be annoying. Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason why we're doing the true 100%, is like, to extend the series. I mean, the other reason why is we did true 100% for Breath of the Wild, and I enjoyed that. So, doing true 100% for Tears of the Kingdom, I feel is... the series would feel incomplete if I didn't also true 100% Tears of the Kingdom. Probably not going to be true 100%ing Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, because the true 100% requirements for that game are kind of a little stupid. But I can true 100%, like, yeah, not 100% the game proper. Nope, no sparkle shine. I just want my shiny symbols, please. I want other shinies. Give me more shinies. Give me more shinies. I got the Pip, I got the Hoppip, but I want more. I want more shinies. I require more sparkles. I require them all. Nope, no Hoppip. Yeah, we need to get the rest of the Hoppip family, which is not going to be too fun for me. Starly family, that's one that I also need to work on. So I realized I've pretty much hunted all the nighttime exclusive spawns in the game, which are generally ghost types. But I haven't hunted like any of the daytime exclusive spawns, you know, like Starly, the Starly family. But I also think I could probably hunt those in Legends. I still need to do some Legends hunt. I also still have to do my Knackley redeem hunt. Still have to go redeem that hunt. Not fun. But I've got plans for future stuff. I've got... Oh yeah, Flamigo. I guess this is Flamigo Central over here. Flamigo Central. I'll need to find the best place to shiny hunt the Starly family. But that could also just as easily be done in Legends. Because, again, I do need to hunt a bunch of stuff in Legends. And it would probably just be easier in there for some stuff. I mean, it also could be fun to go back to Legends and do some stuff, but maybe not. Hop evolution line. Wait, was that a shiny Staravia? Or was that my, is that a shiny Staravia, or was that a shiny, my shiny Iron Valiant? Wait, was that a shiny Staravia, or was that a shiny Iron Valiant right there? I don't know. Holy shit! Holy shit, that was actually the shiny Staravia! Oh my gosh, right as we were talking about it. Okay. Holy crap! Literally right as we were talking about it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys. Holy crap. No, I didn't even notice. Damn. I didn't think that was a shiny. Okay, yeah, Whirlwind fails on you if you are higher level. That was ambush. Why are you missing? You are freaking holding the wise glasses. Wide lens, not wise glasses. Like this is holding the wide lens. I'm fairly certain, at least. Yeah, it's holding the wide lens. You can't hit the broad side of a damn barn Iron Valiant. And now it's double teaming. The issue is with Breloom. Breloom also cannot affect grass types. That's the thing. Iron Valiant can get both Thunder Wave and it can get Hypnosis, whereas Breloom is basically ineffective against grass types. So that's one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons. But holy crap, that was insane. It missed a lot. Trust me. Trust me, Midnight. There's been a lot of times it's missed. That's why if it's not 100%, it's 50. Trust me. Trust me, Midnight. It missed a lot. Before even double team took effect. Trust me, it missed a lot. It missed a lot. It missed a freaking heckin' lot. Remember, Midnight, I'm not lucky. We know this. The thing is, if it does, I can just run away. If its health gets too low, I can just run away. And then its health immediately goes back to full. So, it's fine. Yep, it's, if it ain't 100, it's nothing. If it ain't 100, it's nothing. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure if you have an affection bonus on your Pokemon, it actually boosts their accuracy. There we go, we got it. The almost impossible bird has now been freaking caught. Waddle, 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 bird. You're not sparkly, are you? Nah. Yeah. I still can't believe that I just stumbling into another shiny. Stumbling into a shiny. It's always wonderful. You'll love seeing it. I am saving this game now. So two for one shiny day. 2 for 1 shiny day. Bird. I still gotta get the other one, though. I still gotta get, like, Starly and Staraptor. But, I mean, that's probably... The best part is that we were talking about how it was gonna be, like, impossible. Like, it would be easier to hunt in another game. So, game was like, nah, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna go out of my way to disprove you. Because I'm pretty sure the Staravia will not run away if it is a shiny. I don't think that they will run away. Because I know with certain things, like Hoppip, when it's windy, they will not get blown away if they are shiny. Magic Guardians. There's a number of Pokemon with Magic Guard and Skill Swap. There's a number of them. Yeah, because like I know that the big one is Reuniclus. Reuniclus gets it. When I stored tell when I was in a Union circle by my friend, I just walkability spotted it, but yeah, there's a lot of them that get it. There's a few that get it. It's not really as good of a combo as you actually think, because it does consume a move slot. And amusingly, it's actually better to not really run Clefable in VGC. It's better to actually have, Clefairy. Yeah, I don't really think that Magic Guard Skill Swap on anything would actually be too effective on much. Because, like, when you switch out, when something has when something is skill swapped an ability, and then they switch out, they actually lose that ability and they go back to their default ability. So, you really don't get much out of it. It would only really be effective in something like doubles. Try to walk away from that gym. It's like fun. I don't really think that it would really do anything, though, is the thing. But yes, if you guys haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We walked away with 2 shinies today. We did not get our shiny Dogo. Let's do one quick check of the Porto Marinata auction house. And while I go find someone to go raid. Because it is time for the best time of the day. The mechanized Maxis raid time. And then later today, we are going to be doing another thing of Mystery Dungeon. Not Mystery Dungeon, of just Kingdom. Okay, let's go raid. Gonna go raid. We could raid Razzie. Haven't raid Razzie in a while. Could go raid them. So there's a few people we could raid. I want to try and like raid someone we have not raided in a while. We'll go raid Carly May Crossing. We'll go raid them because they're doing a live collab thing with Razzie. So we'll go do that. Yeah, we'll go raid them. So yeah, it's okay, Maisie. Yeah, we're raiding. We're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid Carly May Crossing and Razzie because they are both doing a collab shiny race. I will see you guys next time. And again, I still gotta figure out a new outro cutscene thing, an outro stuff. I actually didn't even check what the auctions were. Quick ball feather. Okay, none of those are good. Auto wrong always goofs. Auto wrong indeed always goofs. But I'll see you guys next time.